Okay, so we spend pretty much our entire lives surrounded by light, right? But think about it. We almost never stop to consider what it actually is or how it's affecting us. Well, it turns out the light in our environment is one of the most powerful and honestly most overlooked inputs for our biology. So let's get into it. So, let me just ask you this. Have you ever gotten to the end of a long day, staring at a screen, and your eyes just feel tired and strained? Or maybe you've struggled to fall asleep after scrolling on your phone in bed. If any of that sounds familiar, you've already felt what we're talking about today. But what if all that is just the tip of the iceberg? We basically live in a world filled with artificial suns. I mean, they're in our homes, our offices, they're literally in our pockets. We've completely flooded our world with man-made light. But to really get a handle on its impact, we first need to understand, what is light anyway? At its most basic, light is just energy, and it travels in waves. The easiest way to picture it is like a rainbow. On one end, you've got those shorter wavelengths, like blue and violet light. They carry a lot more energy. And on the other end, you've got the longer wavelengths, like red light, which carry way less energy. And believe it or not, that simple difference in energy is the key to this whole conversation. So, this brings us to the main character in our story today, blue light. Now, don't get me wrong, it's a totally natural part of sunlight. The issue is the super high energy, really concentrated blue light that's blasting out of our modern devices and LED bulbs. That's what's creating some pretty serious problems for our health. So where's the real problem? Well, scientific research points to this specific disruption zone in the light spectrum. It's the range that includes all of the blue light and even a lot of the green light that we see. This is the exact kind of light that can throw our internal biology way out of sync, especially after the sun goes down. Okay, so here's how it all works. When it gets dark outside, your brain is supposed to start producing a hormone called melatonin. It's literally the sleep hormone that makes you feel drowsy and ready for bed. But, and this is a big but, when your eyes see that bright blue light at night, it sends a panic signal to your brain that basically says, hey, the sun's still up, time to be awake. And that just slams the brakes on melatonin production and completely wrecks your sleep. And it's not just about sleep either. That really high energy blue light, particularly in that 415 to 455 nanometer range, can actually penetrate all the way to the back of your eye, right to the retina. And studies are showing this can lead to things like digital eye strain and dryness. And over time, it might even contribute to long-term damage like macular degeneration. You see, when you mess with your body's internal clock, your circadian rhythm, the effects just ripple through your entire body. It's so serious, in fact, that the International Agency for Research on Cancer has classified shift work, which is all about major circadian disruption from artificial light, as a probable carcinogen. That alone just shows you how deeply fundamental this whole process is to our health. But here's the good news. We don't just have to sit back and take these negative effects. Research actually confirms we have tools to fight back. Studies have shown that something as simple as wearing blue light blocking glasses can directly counteract that melatonin suppression, helping to protect our natural sleep cycle, even in our crazy light-filled modern world. Now, I know this might make it sound like blue light is just the enemy, but it's really not that simple. The real issue isn't blue light itself. It's the kind of blue light we're getting all the time. There is a massive, and I mean massive, difference between the light that comes from the sun and the light that comes from your screen. Yeah, when you put them side by side, the difference is just wow. Natural sunlight gives us this full balanced spectrum of all the colors, and that includes healing red and infrared light that actually helps offset the high energy blue. Artificial light, on the other hand, just has these huge unbalanced spikes of blue. And, just as important, sunlight changes all day long, telling our body what time it is, while our indoor lighting is just static and unchanging. And if you remember one thing, let it be this. Timing is absolutely everything. Getting that natural, balanced blue light from the sun first thing in the morning, that's essential. It kickstarts your brain, it makes you feel alert, and it sets your body clock for the entire day. It's the unbalanced, artificial blue light after dark that becomes the real problem. Okay, so what can we actually do about all this? Well, the first part of this strategy is all about playing defense. It's about building a better relationship with light by consciously blocking the junk light that we really don't want. Think of it like a simple light hygiene routine, broken down into 4 steps. Step 1. Get some morning sun right when you wake up to set that internal clock. Seriously, even just 10 minutes makes a world of difference. 2. Use daytime filters, like computer glasses, to just take the edge off screen glare and cut down on eye strain. 3. Swap your light bulbs, especially in places like your bedroom, for low blue versions. And 4, probably the most important step, after the sun sets, block all blue and green light to truly protect your melatonin. But look, defense is only half the battle. We can also go on offense. We can actively use specific wavelengths of light that have been shown to be incredibly beneficial for our biology. And this is where something called red light therapy comes into play. It's actually a technology that NASA first started exploring, and it uses these very specific narrow bands of red and near-infrared light. These are those healing, low-energy wavelengths that are everywhere in sunlight, but are almost completely missing from our modern indoor lighting. Honestly, the best way to think about it is like plugging your cells directly into a charger. These specific wavelengths of light get absorbed by the mitochondria in your cells, which are basically your cellular power plants. This helps them produce more ATP, which is literally the energy currency your entire body runs on. So more ATP means your cells just do their jobs better. Simple as that. And it makes sense, right? When your cells have more energy, the benefits can start showing up all over your body. From a skin health perspective, this can mean supporting collagen production and even reducing fine lines. If you're active, it can help with muscle recovery. And for just your overall wellness, it can promote healthy circulation, all just by giving your cells the fuel they need to thrive. So when you put all of this together, how should we think about it? Well, I think the best way is to completely reframe our entire relationship with the light that's all around us. So if there is one single idea to take away from all this, it's this. Start treating light like you treat food. It isn't just something that's there. It's a form of nutrition that we consume through our eyes and our skin. Some light is incredibly healthy. That's your morning sun. And some light is basically junk food. That's the artificial blue light after dark. The power is completely in your hands to manage your light diet. Which really just brings us to our final question for you. Take a second and look at your typical day, from the moment you wake up to the moment you go to sleep. Think about the light you're consuming. If light truly is a form of nutrition, how well are you feeding your body?